I never imagined that love could feel so fragile, yet so consuming until I met Sophie. His name was Jake, and from the moment he smiled at me across the cafe, I felt a pull I couldn't resist. Our connection was instant, electric, and it felt like the kind of love you read about in books. We laughed, shared secrets, and spent hours dreaming about a future that seemed unbreakable. I thought I had finally found my forever. For months, everything was perfect, or so I believed, but small things began to shift. He started being distracted, glancing at his phone in a way that made me uneasy, and sometimes he would reply to my messages much later than usual. At first, I told myself I was overthinking, that maybe he was just stressed or busy, but a growing knot of doubt began to form in my chest. One evening, I returned home earlier than usual, hoping to surprise him with my favorite dinner, but instead, I found him sitting quietly in the living room, phone in hand, face tense. There was a flicker of guilt in his eyes when he saw me, and that tiny change shattered the trust I had taken for granted. Something about his behavior made my heart race. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself that I was imagining things, but my instincts screamed otherwise. Over the next few days, the signs became impossible to ignore. He would stay late at work unexpectedly, his friends I had never met would appear in his stories, and his laughter on the phone would abruptly stop when I entered the room. My mind raced constantly, connecting dots I had previously ignored. And then one restless night, I couldn't sleep and found myself peeking at his messages. What I saw made my stomach drop and my chest tightened with disbelief. Affectionate, intimate messages meant for someone else. I stared at the screen, unable to comprehend the betrayal. Every smile, every promise, every plan we had made together seemed like a lie. I felt my world crumble around me. I confronted him, my voice trembling with a mixture of anger, hurt, and disbelief. His eyes avoided mine, and the excuses he tried to offer sounded hollow and rehearsed. There were no words that could undo the reality of what I had seen. It wasn't just cheating, it was the quiet unraveling of everything I had trusted. In the days that followed, I oscillated between rage and heartbreak. Memories of laughter and late-night talks haunted me, twisting each moment into something bittersweet. Friends told me to move on, to let go, but letting go felt impossible when the love had once felt so real. But slowly, amidst the pain, I began to understand the lessons hidden within betrayal. I learned about the importance of boundaries, self-respect, and the courage to accept harsh truths. Love, no matter how strong, cannot survive in the shadow of lies. And while my heart was broken, I realized I could rebuild it stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Sometimes I wonder if he ever thought about the hurt he caused, or if it was always about his own choices and desires. But the lesson is mine. Never ignore the warning signs, never settle for deception, and never allow fear of loss to blind you from the truth. This story isn't only about betrayal, it's about strength, self-discovery, and the painful beauty of learning from love. And while Jake's part in my life is finished, the lesson lingers. Love deeply, but always wisely.